I'm going to run you through what I've done to my Nissan X-Trail to prepare it for a 3,000 kilometer towing journey. Now, this information is general in nature, so it's pretty much applicable to any towing vehicle. So we'll start with the basics under the bonnet. First thing you need to do before going on a long towing journey is to make sure your vehicle is in tip-top condition. So full maintenance, all the fluids, all the filters. So engine, transmission, axles, and all the filters. So your oil filter, your air filters, your fuel filters. Have a look and see when the last time you've done them or you've serviced them, and if need be, definitely replace all of those. I'm not going to spend too much time in terms of drilling down or talking about maintenance, because I do have a few maintenance videos that will help you, particularly with X-Trail. I'll put the links down in the description below. While we're under the engine bay, we're going to jump into all your support mounts. So your engine support mounts and your transmission support mounts. Again, I've got a link down the bottom here. One of my maintenance videos, I do talk about how to check these mounts, particularly for this vehicle. Then we're going to move into all the bushings. So your suspension bushings, your steering arm bushings, and your sway bar bushings. Front and back, just check everything. Again, my maintenance video down the bottom will kind of show you how to do that. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is a transmission cooler for automatic transmissions like this one, like my vehicle. Now, you don't really have to have it, but it's a good thing to have if you're doing a lot of all driving, and particularly a lot of towing. And if you do drive, or if you do like to drive on soft sand. Now, with an auto transmission, the number one thing that it hates is gear changes, and a transmission cooler will really help cool down the oil and cool down the transmission to avoid excessive wear and tear on the actual transmission. So I do have a video specific for that, again, down the bottom, check it out. Now, the other thing is your steering. You'll be doing a lot of driving, and you got to make sure that your steering is well aligned. So definitely get an alignment done if you haven't done it recently. The next thing is your cooling system. So have a look at your coolant and see if it's dirty. Does it need replacing? Does it need flushing? Or does it need topping up at the very least? Check your fans, check your belts. Basically, if you're not sure what I'm talking about in terms of general or thorough maintenance, just get your mechanic to do it and he'll figure it out for you. With running full maintenance in your vehicle, not only is it going to make your vehicle more reliable, but it's going to make your vehicle perform more efficiently, especially nowadays where fuel is quite expensive. One of the things I've done to prepare for this long towing journey is I replaced my tire back to the OEM size. So I went from my 205 80/16 all-terrains down to a standard road tire of 215 65/16. The main reason why I've done it is for efficiency. Your OEM size tire is the most efficient tire you can get for your vehicle. And being a road tire, it is much safer than an all-terrain tire when driven on road. Now, you got to remember that increasing your tire size is the equivalent of putting a higher or taller gear ratio on your differentials. So you need more torque to turn the tires, thus it consumes more fuel, and it also stresses your driveline components more. Now, while we're talking about tires, the most basic thing is your tire pressures. Double check your tire pressures and regularly check your tire pressures throughout your journey. This goes for both the tires on your vehicle and the tires on your caravan. The next thing I'm going to talk about is suspension. And what I mean by suspension is not the checks and maintenance that we spoke about, but it's more of upgrading your suspension. If you don't go off-road or tow quite often, it won't be worth you spending money in upgrading it. But if you do if you do a lot of towing or full driving, then it's highly recommended you look into upgrading your suspension. My suspension is raised 1.5 inches high, but most importantly, it's got a load rating of 200 kilos in the back. That means that I can carry up to 200 kilos before the back of my vehicle starts sagging. And believe me, once you hitch up the trailer, put a full load of fuel, some gear in the back and some passengers in the back seat, you'll find that the backside of your vehicle can sag quite a bit. And that is not good, because not only does it imbalance your vehicle, it raises the front of your vehicle, and It affects your traction in the front and also your steering. Now, the last thing I want to share with you is my experience and my personal opinion or my thoughts of the X-Trail being a tow vehicle. I towed a 1998 pop-top Jayco caravan which weighed about 1.4, 1.5 tons. This X-Trail can tow 2 tons. The vehicle itself weighs about 1.5 depending on the model X-Trail you have. And personally, I wouldn't tow anything close to the weight of my vehicle, and I would never tow anything heavier than my vehicle. I'm a big believer of the saying that goes, the tail doesn't wag the dog. So my trailer is always going to be lighter than my vehicle. That's just me. It's much safer and it performs much better in my opinion. Now, I drove about, I don't know, probably about 3,000 kilometers, maybe even more. So we did do a lot of side tracks. And I was averaging about 15 liters per 100 kilometers. This X-Trail with the OEM tires, and after the full service and everything, I got it down to about 8.5 to 9 liters per 100, which is quite decent. I wouldn't tow anything heavier than 1.5 with the X-Trail. That's just my personal opinion, mainly for efficiency and also reliability. Up the hills, I could feel that the X-Trail was struggling. On the highway, if it's 100% flat, I could go like 190 quite comfortably with 1.5 tons behind me. So, long story short is, for efficiency and reliability at long distance towing, my personal opinion is I wouldn't go over 1.5 tons with the X-Trail. That would be my maximum. But ideally, I'd probably go about 1 to 1.2 tons. If I wasn't traveling at long distances, then yeah, I would agree, and I would say that 1.5 tons would be quite okay for the X-Trail. So I hope you picked up something today, and if you're interested with anything about my vehicle, look at my playlists. There's quite a lot of videos in there about this vehicle in particular. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.